Okay. I did this for a friend of mine. And she probably didn't even think about it when she asked me to read these. But I just... Sorry. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina K-R-I-S-T-I-N-A. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no demons, none of that fancy man stuff going on here. So anyways, what do you give a person that's had a miscarriage, who is mourning their child? A book about a person who's had a miscarriage. No! Okay. Where are figures? So, there's this chick that may or may not be running away from home. I'm not exactly sure. But she's left home. And she is Fawn Bluefield. She's about 20, or she claims to be 20. And she's fleeing her home. She talked to this guy she calls Sonny into taking her virginity this one day, and timing was right, and she ended up with child, and she is on the road. She's headed to Glass Forge to find work, and there's a whole spiel there. And she meets this guy Dag, who is a lake walker. Lake walker are mystical guardians who hunt malices, but they're feared and misunderstood by farmers like Fawn. Dog rescues her and ensuing battle. So she's going on her journey, and she stops at this farm, and this woman takes pity on her and says, "Hey, why don't you hang out? Oh, wait a minute. The lake walkers are coming. Go hide." She goes hide. She's up a tree. This guide dog sits down to eat under the tree, knows she's there, but doesn't acknowledge her existence to anybody. Has a friend come over. They talk some more about what's going on in their society, whatever. And then he leaves. And then, like, a day later, or 2 days later, she comes upon him again. She is being raped. These guys caught her. The Malices caught her, and they're raping her. And they use a knife on her, and they cause her to miscarry. In the meantime, Dog rescues her, saves her life, but doesn't save the baby. So she's mourning the baby. She's mourning her pain. He's talking about the a magical bone known as a sharing knife. Lake walkers are mystical guardians who hunt malices, but they're feared and misunderstood by farmers. Dog rescues her, and like I said, with the knife. And the event forges a bond between them. Him rescuing her. They very slowly, very, very slowly fall in love. It just, I will read a Regency. There's usually stuff going on with a Regency. There's usually a little bit more, a little mystery, a little something besides character angst with a Regency. Whereas a contemporary romance is just character angst. And I was reading, was it Lucy Score or Emily Henry last year or something like that? And if it had just had a missing manuscript, it doesn't have to be a murder, but a missing manuscript or a missing puzzle or just some kind of mystery to add to it, it would have been great. I mean, the book's getting all these nominations, the Pulitzer Prize rewards, reviews, and again. But for me, it had to have had just a little something else. And because it didn't have a little something else, I was like, bleh. After 12 chapters, I was like, nah. So, they spend most of the book with their, getting to know each other, falling in love thing. So there are these people called the farmers. They are non-magical people. That's the lady that helped her in the beginning. Survivors and rebuilders after the magical collapse. They represent a grounded, practical society. They farm, they trade, and they build towns. They are the backbone of the civilization. Then you have the Lake Walkers, which Dag is. Once powerful magical catastrophe that collapsed due to spiritual hubris. They patrol this countryside to hunt and destroy malices, parasitic, life-draining entities that threaten all living things. The magic they possess, the ground sense, an intuitive ability to perceive and manipulate the ground, or force of living beings and objects. Sharing of knives. Now he talks about that, and they make the knives from your thigh bones. So you die, and then you're gonna will your thigh bone to somebody so they can make a knife out of it. And they live in camps and speak a shared language, like the Native Americans, I guess. And the malices were born from leftover magical corruption. They feed on ground life force and create mudmen, which are half servants, half animal, half person, half. It just. I just don't know. But so I got these others. We'll do this real quick. So the sharing knife. And I'm telling you, these books had the passage. Oh, look. He's got a belt and shirt on, like he's farming, like he's a sheep herder with that thing. And the legacy here. So this is book 2. It had that Clan of the Cave Bear feel to me. I think if you're a Clan of the Cave Bear person, you would enjoy this series. They're getting to know each other. They're meeting and greeting other people as they go along situation. It's just the farm folk spotted the pair on the porch about the time they exited the lane. Fawn guessed by the way they paused and stared, taking stock. The stringy old man on the horse stayed back. Under his eye, the boy made himself busy taking down some rails and urging the sheep and cows into the pasture. Once the first few animals spread out in a lumbering burst of bawled complaint, quickly converted to a hungry grazing. The rest followed willingly. The 3 men advanced cautiously toward the house. Gripping tools like weapons, a pitchfork, a mattock, and a big skinning knife. If those fellows are here, they've just had some very bad days by all the signs, Dag said. Whether in a tone of warning or mere observation, Fawn was not sure. Stay calm and quiet till they're sure I am no threat. How could they think that? Fawn said. She straightened her spine against the house wall, twitching the white folds of her overabundant gown tighter and tighter, and frowned. Well, there's a bit of history there. Some bandits have claimed to be patrollers in the past. Usually we leave bandits to their farm brethren, but those were string up good if we catch 'em. Farmers can't always tell. I expect these'll all be right once they get over being jumpy. Dag stayed seated on the porch edge as the men neared. Though he sat up straighter, he raised his right hand to his temple in what might have been a salute of greeting or scratched his head, but in either case conveyed no threat. Evening, he said. The men sidled forward, looking ready either to pounce or bolt at the slightest provocation. The eldest, a thick-set fellow with a gray bit in his hair and the pitchfork in his grip, stepped in front. He glanced at Fawn, bewildered. She smiled back and waved her fingers. He said, "Howdy." I'm from Mary Red Wing Lake Walker Patrol. We were called down from the north a couple of days ago to help deal with your blight boggle. This here's Miss Sawfield. She was kidnapped off the road yesterday by the boggle I was hunting and injured. I'd hoped to find folks here to help her, but you were all gone, not willingly by the signs. My name's Bluefield, Fawn says. Fawn Bluefield. This is your place? Yup, the man says. Glad you made it back. Is everything all right? Yup. Praise be we didn't suffer no one getting killed by those things. It's a near chance, muttered another guy. A younger man with chestnut hair and freckles around Dog's left, staring at the empty shirt cuff. Dang feigned not to notice the stare, but Fawn thought she detected a slight stiffening of his shoulders. The man burst out, "Hey, you wouldn't be that fellow, Dag. All those other patrollers are looking for you, would you? They said you wouldn't hardly be mistook. Tall drink of water with his hair cropped short, bright goldy eyes, and missing his left hand." Oh, yeah. Dog is missing his hand. He's got a Captain Hook thing going on there. So, if you're gonna follow Fawn and find out, and Dag would find out what the farmers can help them out, if they give them sanctuary, and what happens with the knife, and all the other situations, go ahead and pick up the book. This is book 2, and, this is book 3, and this is book 4, and I'm gonna go get me a cozy to read. It just wasn't for me, but it might be for you. Have a good one.